Hi, my name is Stephanie. In this video today we will be going through how to create an epoxy resin keychain and make it look super pretty. So this is not my first attempt, but it is one very early in the process, but just wanted to share what I've learned so far. These different silicone brushes are very important. The resin does not stick to them. So we will need lots of those to wipe off and to reuse. We're also going to need these plastic cups, which I can link where I got all of this stuff on Amazon. This one I would just use once and then throw away. There is a resin part A and part B that you would want to mix with equal parts. That is what I'm doing right here. So I'm going to pour some in and really try to get it even as close as possible. I've found so far, even if I'm a couple of millimeters off, it doesn't really affect it much. So I just eyeball it and try to get it the best that I can. So after I'm done with part A, I'm going to pour part B in, and then I'm going to stir it. The idea is to stir slow. I'm going to speed up the video in just a moment because it is about a minute or so worth of stirring, but I am stirring very, very slow. This is to keep all of the bubbles out. This is obviously sped up, and I want to scrape the sides of the cup. And another tip is to only go in one direction. So I am going clockwise in this video, and that is the only way that I'm stirring this resin together. So now that I have it stirred all up, the next section or the next part that I'm going to do is I will be adding some color or some mica to the two smaller cups. So for this one, I've chosen a red color, and then I'm going to go with a kind of a sheer sparkly color. I plan to mix these half and half in a couple of them and then try to do an effect where there is some red around the outside of one of the keychains. One of the keychains is going to say mentally spicy, so I thought it would be kind of cool if it looked a little bit like blood and gore. So we'll see how that one turns out. Now that I have the mica added in, it does not take very much at all. I will just fill up these two reservoirs with the clear mixture. This is going to leave some for later, which I'll do another color. I'm going to speed up the stirring again, but it's the same thing. You're going to go in the same direction. You're going to stir very slow to try to keep the bubbles away, and then I just wipe off the colored resin, and it comes very easily off of these silicone brushes. Again, I will post these links for the brushes in the video along with anything that I use. So after I've stirred up both the red and the silver color, then we'll move on to the next step. So here are my keychain molds. I got some of these little, what do you call them? I know there's a name for them, but I can't think of it right now. But I just wanted to pull up a little bit of the red and put it around in a circle to see if I could get it on the outside. So tip, this didn't work. Not how I expected it to anyways. I think what you would want to do is really use a UV light over this resin right now before you pull or pour any additional on top, because it just mixed in too much and kind of made it a little bit stringy. I do like the way that it ended up, but in the future, I would suggest doing a UV light over that red piece that was put in so it doesn't mix in too much. So on the other ones, I'm just trying to get them half and half. I'm going to do a full red. I'm also going to do a full silver color as well. And these little cups, once you fill them up, they will get about 6 or 7 uses out of them. I think in this one, I'm about to fill one up with only the glitter, but could be wrong. yeah, I think I'm going to do that once I get the new colors mixed. So I've only used half the mold, so I would like to use some gold and the same clear color as well. So right now I'm getting a couple of new reservoirs and get those ready, and we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to put the mica in, we're going to stir them nice and slow. I will speed it up a little bit for you. This nail tool really helps to scoop out just enough mica that you need. And as you can see, I've got my new mica poured in. I will get those stirred up, speed it up just a little bit. You will find times where the mica will pool in the middle of the reservoir, and when you pour out, it will be a little chunky. There are times where I like this look, but I would say you would need to do 2 stirs, maybe even 3 if you don't want any chunks in your color. So once we get these all stirred up, we're going to start doing the same. I believe I'm going to pour in a full white version and then we'll mix the rest just like we did the red and the white. Right here, I'm kind of making a design in the middle of the two halves of the color, sorry, and pulling some of the red over into the white and vice versa. This kind of makes some mixed results. And it may be better to do this once it hardens just a bit. That's something I haven't tried yet, but for now, this works for me. There you can see what I mean. It had some chunks on the top, so I'm just restirring. So I'm trying the same technique here where I'm just taking some of the gold and trying to put it around the side, and then I'll be pouring the clear right into the middle to see if it can show up. But this time I figured out what I needed to do, so I hit it with a UV light just a little bit before I pour in that white color. And here I am just mixing the rest of them together, and then I'll make a full white one as well. And with the rest of the gold, I'm going to make one of the bigger options. These are perfect keychain size. These are 2 inch. But the next size up would be better for maybe a car coaster, although they don't fit all car coasters. They barely fit into mine, so it may not be good for all. But also what I would use this for is a backpack keychain. They're more visible. You can put more on them. I love this size because you can really get creative. So I went ahead and poured the rest of the gold in there so I can make one for a backpack. And we are all ready to go. So on this one, I am putting a saying, don't be scared, or I'm sorry, do it scared. You will be scared, so just do it scared. I made these on my Cricut. I just made sure that they were set to a little bit shorter than the 2 inches that are for these keychains. And then made sure to scrub them real good so they would stick. I did have an issue with these next few, and if you can see in the background how it kind of bled together whenever I was trying to cover the outside in the gold color, it definitely all got mixed up into it. It did not work as I had planned, but I'm going to use it anyways. I think it looks okay. Or actually, that's the red one. That's mixed in just a little bit. I did not hit it with the UV light at all. So the first one I had a little bit of an issue with whenever I put the mentally, this one says mentally spicy. When I put the mentally on, I pulled it off a little bit too quickly without, you really have to rub those letters in or they will not come off. So you have to make sure that they come up appropriately. And then whenever I put it down on the keychain, I did not push hard enough with my Cricut tool to scoot it back and forth. And when I pull it up, you will see the T get a little bit messed up and stretched out because it did not fully stick. See, there we go. You could see it. I was missing a T. I'm like freaking out here at this point. And yep, gonna have to do that one later. So I just went ahead and put the rest of the words on the keychains. I will come back later, make that specific T, and then put it in the middle, and I believe it'll work just fine. Okay, now that I have all of my Cricut vinyl stickers on, I'm going to cover those over, the top over, with UV resin so that it'll be nice and smooth and there will be somewhat of a dome over the writings. So here I am just pouring out. This is a different resin. You do not have to mix it. It already comes in a bottle where you just pour it on and put it under a light. So I pour a good amount on and I'm just using my silicone brush to brush around right to the edges. And again, I want it to fully cover that vinyl, and I also want it to, in a way, create a bubble on top so that it'd be nice and smooth. So that is what I'm doing here, and I'm just putting the UV resin light over. I am cutting out the weighting part of this, and as I go, I'm doing this to my other keychains and putting them in one at a time. Two of those can go under each time, and it takes about 2 minutes for them to cure. So I'm going through the process of doing each and every one of the keychains. Again, this takes no time. I love, love, love this UV resin. It works really great. I'll put which kind I use at the end as well. And then here I'm going to show just a couple of the finished pieces before the hardware. And these are all available for sale as well. These are going to be $10, just the time and the material that it took for me to make these. And this is me starting up. So here's the one of the final keychains. I'm going to add the actual hardware to it. So this is the keychain, which I'm using two pliers to make sure that I get it in there securely. And then I'm going to hook on a little pom-pom type deal that you can get on Amazon. I think you can get a bag of like 100 or close to 100. This one I'm using white. Sorry, I know I'm cutting this completely out of the screen, but what I am doing is connecting the two metal pieces so that it stays on the keychain. And you should be able to see the end product once I get that exactly aligned. I also bought a bag of gems. It was about the same, where you could get close to 100, and they come in multiple colors. And I'm just going to attach a blue gem onto this keychain as well to top it off, and this will be the final look. Here you go. That's all of them. Happy watching. Hi. Thank you for watching my video today. Check out all of the links in the caption. I would really like your support, and I appreciate all of your views. My name is Stephanie. I like to make these videos, so hopefully there will be some more in the future. I wanted to put a face with the name and the voice, so very nice to meet all of you, and I will see you all soon.